Welcome back to the channel, folks. My name is Joel Duggan, and we are on the Citadel server here in Westhill, the 2.5-year-old medieval build. And the last time we were here, we were working on the inside of the main hall of the keep. We're in the basement right now. And I want to go up and take a look. I think I brought all the shulker boxes back down. I don't think we have any other storage things happening up here. Yeah, it's all clean. No clue what's happening with this wall. And I think a lot of the interior decoration of the keep, I'm going to wait until we update to 1.20 because there's a chance I might want some hanging signs or maybe even some cherry blossoms. I don't know. I just feel like as we decorate this, I'm going to need 1.20 stuff, especially down this way, where I want to turn this room into a bit of a library on this side. I think I want to try to change these into bookshelves. And I think that the chiseled bookshelves would give me a lot more variety than the traditional bookshelves that we have in just 119 right now. So that's the plan. That's the plan, is to do the insides of the keep once we have things sorted out with 1.20. And so that means I think the exterior renovations are pretty much done. We've got, yeah, that's the hallway there. We've got the staircase that goes up here. That gets us up to this level. That's the top here. I guess the only thing I haven't done is I haven't changed the chimney. We did the front part. I guess this isn't technically done, but again, hanging signs I think are going to be key in the top of some of these things. We haven't done any of the decorating inside, but all the structural renovations are finished. I guess the only one thing that I might want to change would be this, the inside of this tower. We haven't really decorated any of the stairs or anything, but again, like, I think I want to wait until we get to 1.20 because I think that will give us more options, and I'd like to have everything available to me before I start making final decisions, because interior design and interior decorating in Minecraft is so time consuming. You don't want to have to do it more than once, right? So that's the plan. So I think that means that we get to move on to something else today. Kel Birdie, the 6-month subscription, courtesy of Cosmic Dancer, has entered month 5. 6 months in this lovely community, says Kel Birdie, and loved every moment. Am I part of the furniture yet? I don't know. Do you look like a Minecraft chair? I sit so much for my job, I sometimes feel like furniture. That is definitely a thing. Yeah, we've got some quirks that we'll have to work out, but all the texturing, I think, is something we're going to wait to do. So that means that we can move on to something else. Yeah. Good stuff. What are we going to move on to? That's another question. I guess we can bring up my to-do list in a book somewhere. So, I think we've done a lot of these pages. It's all got check marks on it. North gate, east gate. Yep, nothing is missing. The keep, here we go. Access to ramparts and portcullis. I think we're just going to get rid of this. And we'll change that to, I guess, east wall of main hall. Pantry details, south kitchen tower. South kitchen tower. That's done. That's the big fat tower that we renovated. Kitchen quarters, overall top floors and towers. Overhaul, excuse me. That's done. Connected the bell tower, also done. I don't think we've really finished the courtyard. I feel like that's going to require some interior stuff, so I'm going to wait on that. Access to the ramparts and portcullis, that is finished. Those are the front towers by the front gate. I'll wait on the missing tables and chairs. Pantry details, kitchen quarters. So we're not quite done the keep, but we did a good chunk. South lawn, an alley behind the dockmaster's house. So that's not done, like completely finished yet either. Surrounding countryside. So we've got some other things we can kind of do, which I think would be fun to kind of break away from what we've been doing in the keep, because we've been in the keep for like 20 streams. I was going to come and put pink banners on that wall as a prank, but I ran out of time. Nicely done, Cosmic. That could be kind of fun, actually. If it's deep enough to do like an actual mosaic or something, that could be kind of cool, actually. Oh, Boo misread that as pink bananas. Nice. Hugh Dragon Criminal asked a question. I miss it. Just curious, because I would not be able to sit for as long as I imagine you do. So the cool thing is, like, I don't sit all day long because I have other things, but a good portion of my morning is usually like bookkeeping, social media, like the kind of business stuff that people don't talk about much on streams and about being self-employed. I have to track a lot of finances. Email, I'm always behind on email. It's like a never-ending inbox of doom. But then a good portion of my day, at least 4 days a week, is like a 3-hour workout. Like I walk to the gym, I work out, I lift for an hour and a half, and then I walk home. So like that's a huge part of several of my days. So I'm not like on my butt all the time. Honestly, like the first thing I do on Mondays after we finish recording this Blonde Chunk. So Monday mornings is like 8:30 or 9. I get into the studio. I prep for the show for about an hour. We record from about 10 my time to noon time, give or take a few minutes, depending on how much Johnny and I are chatting pre and post show. And then immediately after that, I'm kind of like getting changed, and I'm usually out the door by about 12:30, and I'm off to the gym for the afternoon. I get home around 3:30, and then I have a quick bite, and then from 3:30 to about 5, maybe 5:30, 6 o'clock is me publishing the show. So while it's a full day of work, I'm not sitting at the desk 8 hours straight. I have a huge 3-hour window where like I don't sit down at all unless I'm using a machine at the gym that requires me to sit. So I like to think that I'm pretty balanced. Although I notice when I sit for long periods. So like that's why I have those hourly breaks on stream. Fix the ugly custom tree, East River and Wharf, East Graveyard, East Farm Road. Oh yeah, okay. East Bridge Road, Northern Farms, West Riverscape. Right. Crossroads. So there's a fair bit still to be done in the surrounding countryside. Texture address the East Road. I have to remember which one is the East Road. Ah, yes, the swampy area at the base of the north wall. I'm going to wait on that, I think, as well. Westhill Rivers. That could be a fun thing to do today, actually. Just kind of log in and do some riverscape stuff. Curtain wall, that's mostly done. South curtain wall. Trails and Tails update. Hanging signs, vine growth settings. Okay. So I think what we'll do is we'll take a look at the surrounding countryside and Westhill River stuff. I think I need to add a daily walk into my own schedule. I know the dog would appreciate it, but it's winter, so part of my brain is rebelling against the idea. But it's cold. Define cold, Cal. I think most of the people in the Northern Hemisphere will scoff at what your idea of cold is. And that hour where you record, I assume you won't be staring at a screen too, so your actual desk screen time is not even half of the typical workday. That hour where you record? You mean when I record a podcast? Oh, I'm definitely staring at a screen. Recording a podcast is sitting and staring at a computer. There's a full document of notes that we have to look at. Let's get up high. So the North Sea swamp area is there. Also, I remember that there's stuff in that I should probably move. I don't know if I'm totally on board with this crossroads. I like the location of it. I think it just, these feel very straight. One thing I do want to take a look at is maybe landscaping some of this land in here and extending this farm wall around it, even if it's just a very basic thing, like just a basic cobblestone layout. I think that could be worth doing. The East Farm Road, you can sort of see the blocks that I've got laid out. You might be able to see it better on the map. Oh, maybe not. So it essentially kind of travels down through here. There's a road that kind of meanders back and forth along there. And that's going to define, I think, some more of this wheat field. And this is the ugly tree. The ugly custom tree that I was talking about. Yeah, it might be worth getting a sense of intention in this area. And that's probably the easiest thing to make this build start to feel like it's got a few more legs to it. The graveyard is going to go there. I know that much. What else was in that book? North Road and Crossroads. Northern Farms, West Riverscape. Right, so the West Riverscape is over there. That looks like it's been done. Obviously not done to there. This hasn't been cleared out yet. And yeah, we've got a little bit more going on. East Bridge Road, East Farm Road, East Graveyard. So I've got this kind of like northeast southwest thing going on. All right, well let's take a look at this. Let's maybe do some landscaping in and around here. I think it's going to involve removing a lot of the sunflowers. Maybe we can set them up in a way that the bees can still pollinate them or something. I basically want to just take this and make it look a little bit more like a natural contour, because it feels like an eyesore whenever I come into the area. Things look nice through here, but then immediately it just kind of turns to poop. So I think we might benefit from a little bit of stone wall action. And maybe we'll just do something very basic, like just cobblestone, andesite, some cracked stone. Maybe I won't even bring any slabs. I'll just kind of randomly place some blocks around. We'll probably do cobblestone at first. Or maybe we'll do... Well, we could always just mix it up a little bit. But there's things like this that need to be filled in and smoothed out a little bit. Need to find a division between these two properties as well. I think naturally that wall would maybe come up around there, something like that. There's probably going to be a couple of farms. It actually wouldn't be a bad idea to have this road go that way, maybe. Go around the pond. Yeah, I think maybe just immediately the road side here. And then I've got to figure out how I want to handle the edge of this farm. If I want to put a building here, I don't think I do, because any kind of building is going to block the view of the bridge, unless the building is like way back here. Well, if the building was there, it would be okay. And actually that mound right here, the flowers, I think, this could be a decent spot for a building. That would make sense, actually. So we'll try something like that. Kind of go with a loose planning phase for today. So we'll grab cobblestone, andesite, regular stone, stone bricks. And we're going to need grass and probably dirt to fill things in. And maybe we'll bring the moss. I don't know if we'll need... I'm not going to do final landscaping, I don't think. Is that a big no you see in the map? Yes, it is. It was a joke. I think we were teasing Cosmic about more flowers or less flowers. So I used flowers to say, no, I'm not putting more flowers on something. I can't remember exactly the context, but essentially I'm sure it was a dig at Cosmic Dancer. If it involves flowers, it's either a compliment to or a teasing gesture aimed at Cosmic Dancer, usually. Which is, I mean, I'm probably going to tear it down right now just because it's distracting from what I want to accomplish. So this is it here. It says no. So this is a natural pumpkin patch that I've cut down quite a bit, but I wanted to keep it there because I think it would be kind of cool to have a pumpkin patch sort of like near some sort of building here. And so I'm kind of wondering if we just kind of come up here and look at like the natural lay of the land. I feel like we could maybe smooth this out a little bit. Try to keep some of these ponds intact. Not all of them, though. And I feel like these are just going to be problematic. So we'll just get rid of that. Yeah, so then this would probably be like that. Now here, I feel like this would all end up being pushed back because of this wall. So this is something that we're probably going to have to adjust. And I guess, where should I set up shop? Maybe here? Gonna run out of room in that box real fast. It should be good. Why Jan? Hello, hello. Do you have any plans for any of the farms? What you might plant? No, and I don't really want to dial that in just yet. I thought it would be kind of cool to maybe have like a vineyard or something. This area has a lot of hills to it. So rather than mowing this down flat, we're actually going to build up to it. And I think that could be kind of cool. So all I'm going to do here is just kind of like take this road. It's at least a 3 gap from there. So we'll just try to this is where the map comes in very handy. You can see like I've made a very steep curve there, and I probably want to do something a little bit more gentle. I wouldn't mind if it came out a little bit closer to the road, actually. It's the kind of thing where I'm starting to think about how the last few times I've walked and approached Westhill and how it feels. Like, how does it feel finished? And part of the reason it doesn't feel finished is because of the like this unfinished area on the approach. And if we have like a little bit of polish to it, doesn't have to be a lot. I think we'd probably do pretty well. Right, so here's where I'd want to fill this in. We'll cut back some of it. This is going to help too, because our grass storage currently is like full. Bring me dirt. Great storage for all of the grass. Yeah, no, I mean, it's why I don't throw anything away. You know, like, we're going to have to fill in a lot of dirt. It's nice to have a shulker box full of dirt just on hand, not have to worry about it. Plus, it's kind of like a nice chill stream when you're a little bit low on creativity and you're like, I don't know exactly what I want to do next. A lot of what I want to do next is going to hinge on when we update to 1.20, which is hopefully going to be soon. I've spoken to Cosmic and Steven, and Steven is good to go whenever, so I think we really just have to double check our quality of life mods and our performance mods to make sure that they're virus free and make sure that they're all up to date. And then after that, it's just a matter of me backing up the server and making a couple of changes to the end that we want to have done. So one of the things that we're going to do, we have an error in the end where some of the end portals unfortunately toss players out into the void. So what we have to do is delete the end gateways and then recreate them by fighting the dragon. So in a way, we're resetting the end from a dragon fight perspective back to like day one. Is this a cave? No, not quite. So you can sort of see how the two contours start to work together. And this feels really kind of like uninspired. So I want to try and create a better flow to this. It might involve removing these flowers. I do find them rather distracting. Yeah, see, a lot of this, I think, needs to get trimmed back. One, two, three, four, five. So you can slowly start to see on the map how I'm starting to smooth things out a little bit. Get rid of some of this. Now some of this is going to be farmland. I don't know exactly, but it helps to have something that's not so just day one Minecraft to work with. So here's where I usually take like inspiration from the landscape, but then ultimately change it to the way that I want. So this is going up. We wanted to go up to another tier. I don't know if I necessarily wanted to go up to that top block. I think I'd rather shave off the top here. But I like being up here, and I think we can create kind of like a, in the same way that we've got like a cascading farm here where it goes up away from the road. I think we could do the same thing here, but just a little bit steeper. So here we could have probably 3 or 4 blocks back. Yeah, seems about right. So all I'm doing is just following a little bit of the area that I just, oh, I did this one first. Okay, so this hasn't been shaped yet. I thought I had shaped this one. Guess I didn't. So a lot of this might get actually replaced by stone. So I want to leave enough room that we could still have like grass and like little things along here between the road, kind of creating like a little bit of a space separation between the road and the wall. But I'm okay with it getting pretty close. And that's going to influence the amount of space we have in the actual farm. How does that start to look? So here's where I'd have to start thinking about where this gets a little bit funky. This could actually be a decent spot to have like a gate. If this was meant to be maybe access. A lot of times I'll do rough paths as like a temporary, you know, road maybe goes somewhere here. Yeah, I think that could probably work. And then this would probably be pulled back a little bit more. And there, I could see there being something else here. I don't necessarily want to put trees here because I do like being able to see the bridge here. Although, actually, that would be in front of it, wouldn't it? So having a tree here wouldn't be a bad idea. So one thing I didn't do was bring any saplings, I don't think. Oh, I do have some. Unless they're in here, no. So if I was just leave a tree somewhere, probably like here. We'll just let Minecraft do its thing and see what we get. And this is the kind of space where, you know, when creativity strikes, you kind of say like, okay, well, maybe I'll just grab, I don't have very many azalea leaves. Acacia. Let's do boring oak for now. Right. Kind of gives you like a brief idea of what it might be like to have like a gate to a farm or a house or something like that. Framing the places you want people to look. I may look to enlist you in your landscaping skills one of these days. I want to create a really big coral field, but I need to get shaping and the landscape of it. Yeah, it's the kind of thing, I think the easiest way to approach this kind of landscape in Minecraft is to like take a look at what the vanilla generation is giving you and then lean into it a little bit. So here I'm building the wall mostly in response to the road, which I know I'm happy with. So the wall just kind of continues. But as we travel west, I feel like the road is probably, yeah, the wall's probably going to stop at around this pond. I don't know whether I want the pond to be behind the wall or in front of the wall. Probably behind it would be my guess. Let's just do like a quick. So again, we could turn this into whatever we want. We could dig it deeper. We could do all kinds of stuff. Does that feel far enough? It's almost a little bit too far. Thanks for the lurk, Obu. Much appreciated as always. So I think what's going to happen is probably bump this out a little bit. Keeping in mind that this road could move a little bit too. So I think one of the issues that I had was that I remember I moved the center square so that it lines up with this. But then this kind of meanders a little bit for no good reason. It doesn't feel bad on the ground. It looks weird from the sky. I think it's just that this spot is too straight. So there might be some adjustments there. Yeah, I kind of feel like I want to see a wall around here. And this I just go by feeling. Yeah, so for example, I could see maybe this getting cut back. Yeah. I think that gives enough room. And there's going to be grass and all kinds of different things behind there. I feel like that could be a good way to kind of figure out what's happening in this space. And so from if this feels good along this road, then now we've got something we're happy with here, something we're happy with over there, and now we can kind of just try to naturally run them towards one another. Okay, even that feels a little short. So now we're just about getting ready to connect things up here. I feel like this could probably go curve like that. somewhere along here I could switch this up a bit. Right, so that isn't working very well. So we need to, I think, go a little bit straighter here. Curve things up a little bit. Iceberg, hello, welcome in. 1, 2, 3, 4. So again, I'm just kind of going for what feels good viewed from the road. That feels pretty good. This might be a little bit too far forward. That feels very straight. So I may want to actually pull a dip into that a little bit. Usually what I try to do is avoid kind of 5 blocks of the same pattern in a row. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then let's just dig in here maybe. Yeah, that helped a little bit. The gate feels kind of funny. So maybe this is the part where I'm out a little bit farther here. Sure. And I think maybe I just want a little bit more here. Just feels a little bit more natural. So I'm gonna pop the pumpkins over here. Again, I'll do probably a custom pumpkin patch, but I kind of want to let the natural Minecraft spawning to kind of influence what I'm going to do in the area. It takes a lot of the decision making out of it, which is nice. That feels pretty good. This feels a little bit funny. Cool. So now that that kind of line is in there, let's see what we've done. Didn't take very long. And it already starts to feel like, you know, a defined area. And here we can start to think about, well, where would we want to put a house if we were going to build a house? We wouldn't want it to interfere with our view of the bridge. So at most, the wall of the house is going to be here. So I'm just going to walk in that direction, straight at that sunflower there, till we get to about where I want to be. And so if we did a house here, this would be like the northernmost wall would be here. And I would say even a little bit farther back, because we'd want to have a little bit of a path curve here. There, and then so you can sort of see, like, oop, I'm standing on it, the arch of the road, a little bit of a curve there. And so we do the other side. Maybe we make this, we'll guess, and we'll go 3 wide just for fun. I wish we could craft path blocks. That would be very useful. So then maybe that is the northmost face. Whatever house is there. 5. So just a real rough idea about where something could be. I know how you take influence from what was already here and build around it. Or I like how you take influence. Yeah, because I mean, you can sit here and pound your brain trying to come up with an idea for something, but if you don't, if you can just kind of springboard off of what Minecraft gives you, especially in the newer editions of Minecraft. This is all like 1.16 landscape, but if you're in 1.18 or newer, then you're going to have all kinds of inspiration from what they give you. Even that's pretty cool, right? Like the natural river valleys in Minecraft could be pretty cool. So all I'm going to do quickly, I'm not going to leave this here, but I want to just kind of pop this up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I just want to make sure that if we build something there that's got a height to it, that it's not going to be in the way. And so that would be the northernmost face of whatever house is there. So even all the way back here, it's not getting in the way of my view of that bridge, which is what I want. So that's good. I think that's a decent, like, rough placement. I don't want to do another house like that. That is way too big. I'm holding myself back from redoing that place. it just feels far too large compared to all the other houses we have inside the town. But from here you can kind of think, okay, well, if this is roughly where a house could go, then we can plan like a bit of a front part that's maybe this is mostly work area with like some interesting trees and things. Again, we'll kind of like figure out where the trees are going to go. So there's a good example of like we put a random tree down and it kind of, that one kind of hides the bell tower. So we may not keep it right there. It's not bad. I'd probably like maybe have it be more in this space, but it's a decent kind of like put something here, Joel, make this look nicer, that kind of thing. And there's a nice reveal too, where you get to see the bridge from a distance, and then as you approach, the tree wipes in front of it, but then on the other side, you're closer so you can see more detail. Not quite like that. All right, so now that we have that kind of sorted out, what I think we'll end up doing here is just kind of taking this border that we've got, this wall that we like, and you can see how the flow of the next level really doesn't work very well with what we've got here. And so what I'm going to do here is just kind of, the easy way to do it is just like count back 3 blocks from every cobblestone. And that immediately should give you something that follows that a little bit better. Now you don't want to do it like an exact copy. Generally, you'd want this to kind of have its own like gradual tiered look to it. So here I just push this upper part back just a little bit so that it gets, as it gets closer here, it starts to have its own shape. And so here obviously is not going to stay like that. I don't know what this could be used for. Like maybe we have another tree here or something. This whole area could be like, there could be like a wagon or a cart or something useful. And so the more that I think about where this house is going to be, the less I think that this is a cool pond. I think that this is probably going to be what we end up having. Although it would be cool if we had an opportunity to create some sort of tier here, where we could have a pond that could run down into another pond and then run down into maybe a small waterway. Dividing this property up with a stream going through it could be really cool. That would flow naturally down into a pond over here, which I think is quite low. Yeah, this is at 65. And if we go over here, we're at 69. And we could even put this higher. Yeah, I kind of like that. I think what we'll end up doing is probably filling in part of this. To make sense that the house would have something more substantial underneath it. Time to landscape yourself into a break, says Cosmic. Thanks very much. Sounds like a plan to me. Yeah, I like this kind of organic planning where you just kind of let your brain take you with the flow of things. So here I feel like this would curve around this way. So that's why I think this whole thing is going to get raised up in this area. But what I should focus on more before I get carried away with all kinds of weird stuff in here is probably this area here. So that is all quite messy at the moment. I don't like the way that this road is going, so I'm going to have to mess around with that too. Which means I'm going to need some coarse dirt, but that's fine because I got lots of that. I guess Siri thought I was talking to them. I'm not sure if you guys can hear that on stream. Doesn't happen very often, but every now and then. Like the planning stage serves as a reminder you should do it more often. Thanks. Yeah, I mean, the kind of thing in Minecraft is like it's such a pain in the butt to redo anything. So I find that taking the time with some planning is always a good idea. All right, so we need coarse dirt. I need to take a break. I also need coarse dirt slabs, so we'll take those. Cool. Folks, I take a break once an hour. I step away from the computer, give myself a stretch, reheat my coffee, that kind of thing. You should too. These should be loaded. We've got a couple of stacks now of each. This should be running the whole time that we're in Westhill. And I'll be right back. About 5 or 6 minutes. So we have our box of coarse dirt ready to go. Since I'm far enough away from Westhill, I wonder if I could do this with shaders on. I'm not sure whether I'd get a crappy frame rate or whether it would just be kind of nice to be doing something cool out in the sunshine. It's a bit rainy here today in real life, so I'm living vicariously. It says 75, but who knows? Oh no, that's... Maybe it's just the sunset, but that's definitely choppy. I can't do that. Oh well. It was worth a shot. So one thing we could do with this house is have it be like lower on one side than the other. So like the entry here, but then have it be something to exit out at a lower height. That could be kind of fun too. All right, so let's start kind of at the lower tiers here. And I think I'm going to get rid of this. Yeah, even this is not filled in. So you can obviously see what a finished wall looks like, and then what kind of like my placeholder, just for now, wall kind of looks like. So I'll go back up here. Now I wasn't crazy about the way that this road is kind of tiered, so I'd like to shift this around a little bit. Guess, yeah, it curves in when I feel like it should curve out. My beef, I think. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, I think maybe this comes a little bit too far out. It's pretty straight, but it's also like a pretty steep stretch. But imagine this would do, probably follow the road. The road's fairly straight, right? So I think what the first problem is probably this bottom part. I feel like this should be like over here somewhere. Yeah, so I feel like that curving up that way makes more sense. So these are all kind of in the wrong direction. We want them to come out on this side. And then this top part would be, yeah, somewhere's around there, like around here. Maybe not quite that close. So hard to see with the way that the map does the shadows. Yeah, so here we would go maybe there. Although I guess this could probably be dirt too. Do lots of inspiration gathering and planning parts of project with outlines. That's just how I do it. Oh yeah, no, I definitely do. I definitely do a lot of outlining. I think it just helps me. I think it's probably because I'm an artist, right? Like that's kind of where I was I majored in like drawing and design, drafting. So I tend to want to draw lines around things. So I think this is going to be pushed back here. So you can sort of see what I've been doing. Obviously this part isn't lining up very well. All of this is stuff we can just completely remove if we see fit. Just trying to get it to make sense. Although that doesn't make sense. Yeah, see, this is where we need to kind of change this line to be more smooth. So previously there was kind of 2 lines there, and now there's just the one. I like that better. Then here, we'll just pull this down a little bit, probably about halfway. Yeah, it feels about right. Maybe a little bit too far, actually. It's a little bit smoother. I think this is probably going to get cut back. And I think this part might actually start to go back in the other direction. Curse4 has confirmed yesterday that their files were in the clear. That's great. Good to hear. We've been trying to use Modrinth whenever we can just to kind of eliminate any of those possibilities. I think previously I was just worried a little bit too much about the way that this road was going. And I was thinking about it too hard, maybe. Obviously this will get a different texture. We've done some more texturing and stuff over there, but it's easy to see, and coarse dirt doesn't change in the sunlight, so you can kind of keep things going a little bit better. So yeah, they feel a little bit better. This top tier still feels real strange. So this comes along here. I'm only seeing that distance there on the map. Yeah, okay. Maybe this actually goes a little bit farther. Yeah, so you can see where the bit underneath the tree feels kind of strange. And so for that, I think we're just going to cut this part off. I don't mind the tree, so we might leave it there. I might do something custom. I think the idea was to have something on the right to help frame this as you come around the corner going this way. So we'll probably keep it there, but I think that contour line now looks a lot different. And now we just have to maybe polish these off a little bit. And this is all stuff we've done like next to rivers previously, so I'm not going to get into too much of this. I just kind of want to make sure everything has like a nice gentle slope. This will look different once everything grows in grass. Luxaritas, hello. Hope you're having a good day. So that feels a little bit better in terms of just like having some contours. And the reason why I wanted to do that is because it's going to influence how this land flows into the farmland to the right. So as per usual, you had to do something on one side and something on the other to then figure out what's going to happen in between. And so what we've got is some lines that kind of come through here, but then they go in very different directions. So what I'd like to do is take a look at this spot right here and probably have that change a bit. I think it's actually going to go in the other direction. Really glad that I switched to netherite shovel, that's for sure. So you can sort of see how you can like create these lines that go through everything. And if you can get that kind of uniform, then I feel like you're off to a good start. I should say uniform. It should cascade is the right term, I think. So right here, it's this one that kind of feels like the wall. This would be grass if it wasn't wall. So you can sort of see how kind of pulled that around. It might even be better to curve it more away from this wall. But don't want to leave this in a weird shape. Keone, hello, long time no see. Hope you're having a good day. The nice thing about doing this too is that, you know, you can kind of, if there's ever a spot where like we're inviting server mates to come help dig farmland or something like that, the layout is already done. So the hard part is already finished. And then if it's just a matter of like the grunt work of like hanging out and planting crops or like that kind of a thing, totally doable. Yeah, that feels pretty good. I think I might do that instead. Or maybe it should have more of just a simple shape, not an S curve, but just like a regular curve. pretty straight, actually. That's a little bit better. It's hard because this line behind it is really throwing me off. You mostly lurk, but you're here in person today. That's cool. Appreciate it. I appreciate the lurks. People don't realize how much that helps. So you can see what I'm doing here is I'm continuing this line down like this. Maybe a little bit sooner. It's a little easier to see that time around. So I usually go in like odd numbers, like 3, 5, 7, and you just kind of make sure that you're either counting up or down. So that's a decent shape for the pond. The wall, probably going to go around it somehow. So that feels kind of weird, the way that that's shaped, so I might have to change that. I'm not sure whether that made it better or worse. That's a little bit better. So I'm trying not to make it look too round. I want it to be a little organic. So I'm just trying to imagine what a farmer's property might look like and how we would end up dividing this. And I imagine there'd be some sort of road here. So you can sort of see what I'm doing here. And then I guess this would just, I'm not exactly sure how this would divide up. So we'll have to be careful. I feel like this is probably going to not curve this way. I feel like this might curve up the other way. We might separate out a different property here. I feel like at this point, we might end up going the other way. That's a dark day. Rain at sunset. Oh, I did have some logs on me. Oh, thanks, Cosmic. So hopefully all this will become clearer. Maybe a little bit farther here. Once we kind of get all the tiers in place. Yeah, I don't know about this part, so we'll have to, that's going to require, I think, a little bit more planning, but it looks like the natural thing to do would be to follow this line of earth as part of the wall, but because I haven't actually landscaped that yet, kind of not really sure what's going on here. So I'll leave this the way that I had it. About there. They have a general kind of sense of direction, but I need to do some like fill-in work here. Oh, maybe not there. Oh, more grass required. Do you think having this side of the road filled in will give sort of a complete feeling to Westhill? I don't know about filled in. I want it to just feel like less like, you know, ignore this as you go by. If I can at least make it look like an old ruined farm, you know, like just temporarily, I'd be happy with that. But you can see how much we're filling in here and smoothing out the landscape. And I think it'll go a long way to make it feel like more natural. Because like wind and rain really smooth out dirt and grass. It's only in places where there's a lot of rock showing where you get a lot of really steep stuff. Unless you're on the ocean, you know, where I live in North America. But you can see how like these bottom two tiers compared to the top ones, they're starting to look a lot better. And so I'm gradually smoothing these out. I'm gradually sort of like making them less steep, you know? See, this could probably go straight. So you can sort of see this one is kind of getting smoothed off a bit. I guess I could have it be a little bit more aggressive at the start. Now with this one, what I think I'd do is I'll go 3 there, but then this will be bigger. And then we can start to play with a little bit of a curve. See, I almost feel like this has to come out the other way. That feels a little bit too flat, maybe. What do you call a bee that can't make up its mind? A maybe? You get pun points for that. Seizen, hello. Thanks very much for the subscription. Tier 1, welcome in. Make sure you connect your Discord and your Twitch accounts so that you can join us in the Joel Duggan Discord. Three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So here's where we're going to try to combine, I think, a couple of tiers. This top one is probably going to have to get pushed back a bit. Yeah, I think that probably works. So then some of this is probably just going to get filled in. And this is where, like, I start to think about if we want to run a pond or a stream through here. Kind of cool. I'm trying not to get carried away. In a way, I needed a little bit of a break from working in Westhill, but in another way, I kind of wanted to make sure I wasn't leaving behind all of the stuff just outside the city that needed tweaking. Careful not to punch any bees. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. So here's where I think we can start to pull it sort of like a little, like a bean shape, kind of down just to the left of these hives. Man, it is ridiculous how long the netherite shovel lasts. I've only ever had a netherite pickaxe since it's been available. I've never bothered until just last week to add netherite to my other tools. Box Milk, welcome in. Doing well, thanks, yeah. How did you decide when a project is done in Minecraft? Question for Joel and chat. I think that's a skill that I picked up from doing artwork, where like you kind of have to learn when to walk away from something. That's usually the trick. It's not so much when something is done, it's like when you should be done. Perfection is the enemy of done. Which for people that know me will understand my internal battles. Box Milk says I'm also an artist and it's hard not to overwork something. Yeah, exactly, right? Like walking away from something that's good enough or has achieved the goal that you've set out is it's a skill that you have to learn. It really is. So this gets kind of funky. I feel like this next tier is pretty good, but then all of a sudden we've got this new stuff that crops up. So I feel like some of this has to get pushed back a bit. Yeah, I don't know about that. All right, let's see how that looks. Yes, these could just grow over, but I'm impatient. Yeah, I think that gets us kind of where we want to be. So now what I want to do is I want to start tackling these higher tiers. Starting with this one. That's pretty good. I think maybe what we'll do instead of that is just come out from here and we'll just try adding a little bit to it. So that's pretty good, but then it starts to fall apart real quick. but that helps. I love how flowing and organic your paths are. Thanks very much. Yeah, I mean, I think I've mentioned this a number of times, but the key is to be always like steadily counting up or counting down in one direction. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 3 again, 5, and then I'm not sure what we're going to do here. Honestly, this could probably be 7. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then just depending on how steep you want it to curve, just start adjusting. And I know it's ironic that it'll end up coming back in here with bone meal, but sometimes from the ground it's easier to see without all the grass in the way. So I think that achieves what I wanted to do, because most of what I want to do today is just kind of make it look better from the road. I'm not necessarily worried about the map view. It's more about like what it looks like from down here. And I think just for clarity, I'm going to replace these with cobble. The path to enlightenment is layered with flowers, but it leads to breaks. You should probably take one. Has it been another hour already? That's crazy. Thanks, Cosmic. Whoops. All right, let's just take a quick fly around here. So you can start to see what I've done and how it's looking a lot nicer. I've been mostly using the map, which I find invaluable as a quality of life mod on the server. But even just like having these nicely tiered feels better. Having a wall there feels better. I don't know about the height of the wall. I'm not sure about where that wagon is. Like this part here is probably going to end up being a little bit more open. But even these tiers now start to feel a little bit better, right? I think we're probably going to shave a bit along here. I think this part here is probably going to get a lot smaller. So it'll probably get chopped off there and maybe come back a little bit farther. That will help because we don't want the pathway to be too steep. You don't want this to look like stairs. You want this to look like a gradual path. So we're probably going to end up coming in like to there, give or take. Right, so we'll mess with that and see what's up. We'll probably change the angle on that a little bit too. But if you're new to the channel, I do take a break once an hour, and it is that time. I don't think we need anything new, so I'm just going to pop into this little place here, go FK for a few minutes, grab myself another cup of coffee, and maybe even a snack. You should too, and we'll be back in about 5 or 6 minutes. All right. Now, sometimes I don't know what it is about the block counting that we were talking about, but it seems to me that it's usually better to go in odd numbers. If you go like I'll do 1, 2, and 3, but after that I do 5 and 7, 9. I feel like if you go up in increments of 1, like you could do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, but I find if you do that, it looks too perfect, if that makes sense. Doesn't look natural. Anybody else? Just the spooter. I know you're not bugging anybody, but I don't care. It's the principle of the thing. Insert 18469. Thanks very much. Thanks for saying hi. All right, check this out. Yeah, so the top part we're probably going to pull right from the path. What I could do is probably change this to be coarse dirt for now. A little bit more permanent. Easier to deal with too. And I guess we'll do probably another 3 or 4 blocks. So I guess we'll start to think about how that's going to curve. And it's obviously I've got this in a very wrong spot. It's not paying attention. Kind of an interesting spot. Maybe we'll just actually have a rock here. Who knows? Cool. That kind of gives us a basic entrance, and I feel like we'll push this back about where it is there. Seems to make sense. Oh, no worries, Cosmic. Thanks for the sleep help. I appreciate it. So how far do I want this to go? That seems about right. We can try the individual numbers here and see if it looks too perfect, you know? 3, 4, 3, 4, 5. I'm trying to leave trees where they are. Sometimes we turn them into custom trees, but I'm trying to leave them best I can. Right, so that needs to go the other way. It's a weird little bean shape. Like maybe that could be like a little vegetable garden or something else up here. But I don't even know where that would have come from. Oh, I've seen Minecrafters use like the Fibonacci sequence and stuff like that too. Yeah. Yeah, you can do all kinds of cool stuff. Now, do I want to keep this top tree? Maybe. Yeah, this is where I think this gets covered in. The dark oak log was probably a note from past Joel. You're probably right. You're probably right. Let's see if that makes sense. Yeah, that feels about right. That means that this is going to get filled in. This is weird. I literally just said to myself, I need dark oak for a build I'm working on, and then you said it out loud. Great minds think alike, fools seldom differ, I guess. Yeah, I think I'll just fill this in. Yeah, so this is where we can start to think about, well, maybe this doesn't actually need to be exposed. Like maybe this could be part of the house. Like maybe this could have like a basement or a storm cellar here. So this, I'm less worried about the curve on this because whatever we do for the build could probably influence that quite heavily. Yes, we are still on 1.19.3. I haven't even updated to 1.19.4 yet. But we will eventually be going to 1.20, and sooner rather than later. That's one of the reasons I'm not working in the town today, is because like a lot of the interior design stuff I want to do I want to have like 120 access before I do that. I think I might try to shape that idea of having a small brook here. So let's bring that out to here. It sort of has some purpose. And then we'll probably pull this next tier down a little bit closer. Yeah, that seems to work. Okay, so I think now we just have to look at this side of everything. Whoops. Oh, I did it again. One of these houses is going to end up being like maybe a permanent residence for me, because the keep is going to eventually have a basement, and that's currently where I have all of my stuff. So I might have to like switch my permanent place for my, just like the Minecraft base of operations side of things. Cool. I think that probably works. Oh, out of course dirt. Just a white guy from Virginia. Thanks very much for the follow. Appreciate it. So again, this is just a temporary setup. But it'll be enough to kind of give an idea that there could be a place there. And then I just want to continue this along here. It's actually not too bad. Yeah, it's funny how green these show up on the map. They read to me more white in the world, but they show up as green on the map. I think that provides some nice little detail. When it's all done and fancy with a house and stuff, it'll look really cool, I think. Will you for once just stop being so good and let someone else have a chance? I've done a lot of these paths. You gotta remember, like, think about how many paths are in... It's all covered up now, but imagine how many paths I had to do all through Westhill. Like, all the roads, they flow the way that they flow on purpose. That's a pretty decent adjustment. I think I'll probably end up removing both of those patches now that I look at them. I'd like the house to be the highest part. Certainly the small one is going to go. Yeah, you know what? I think we'll take this one out too. I try not to flatten the whole neighborhood, but sometimes things are just too much work or they just look odd. And we could always expand that pond. And then this could either be like a pumpkin patch, or maybe we could do... I like the idea of maybe making a vineyard or something. Not anytime soon, but... I just think it would be nice coming down from up here. If you looked over this way and there was like this cascading thing, like some sort of farmland happening there. Be cool. Especially if we can follow the natural curve of everything. Though it's sort of, you can see how it sort of makes like an S shape. It'd be nice if we could curve all that kind of stuff out. Well, that certainly helps there. Pumpkins would be random enough that it would look natural, I think. Yeah, well, we can do that either closer to the house or, you know, maybe that just inspires pumpkins all along here, right? This is the other area that's a little bit tricky. Which I do not like. Because all this is very Minecrafty. I think the easiest thing to do here is just going to be to mimic the road a little bit. But I definitely feel like this is going to get taken down a notch. I haven't finished this road either. Yeah. So, I think this actually might be a decent spot to wrap this up because I can't see myself being able to finish this before the end of the stream today. So I think what we'll do is we'll just call the landscaping of, I say landscaping, the initial, I guess, pass of the west side of this main road. It's pretty successful. Like, I think that compared to what it was when we first started today, it's nothing special, but it just feels a lot more natural. I feel like you can see a lot more of the town now. Like we removed a big chunk right here. I mean, that tree is actually okay. I think I'm probably going to keep that. The only thing that might change a little bit is I think maybe this might end up curving a little bit more and being a little bit more open, but we'll see. These are all things for much, much farther down the line. I just wanted to feel like the approach to Westhill wasn't completely, abandoned. And this could be very easily just we could come along here and start swapping out different blocks and just to kind of give the idea that, yeah, there's a wall here, and it'll eventually be something. And then I don't know if I'll ever have time to build a house up here before I finish Westhill, but like having a small house here, I think could be kind of cool. Emphasis on small. I want to go back inside the town and look at some of the cool things I've done that are on a smaller scale. Yeah, so far so good. So the only thing that I think is a little bit funky now is that because of how organic the right-hand side feels here with this nice wall and this curve here, this feels really poker straight for no reason. Like it really feels like this shouldn't necessarily be a circle, and this road should very smoothly connect like along this way. So there's a chance that I might want to do that. I don't know how that affects what I do here, because like I said before, this bridge and the center of this kind of are lined up. So I don't want to move this north at all. But I feel like we could probably do something more here. I just don't know what that would be. And maybe it's just a matter of bumping this over and having it not be a circle. Like maybe this should just be a straight up crossroads, That could be it too. I do like having something kind of here in front of the town though. So like, I don't know. I guess what we could do is we could have this kind of fork off in this direction, like curve off there, and then have it a fork off this way. And there could be like a little green patch in the middle. And then in the middle, maybe we could end up putting something like or a street sign, some sort of directional thing in this little patch that says like, Westhill that way and bridge that way and like all that kind of stuff. Hanging signs would be very handy for that, as a matter of fact. So that could be a great project for the North Roads here. But yeah, I think that helps out with the feeling I wanted for Westhill on the approach. It's one of these projects where, I mean, this whole area is just going to be kind of like my ongoing medieval area. And so as I feel like doing something in this area, we'll go ahead and do it. And, if I need to take a break, we'll be able to go to different places. Westhill is getting real close to finish, but I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to end up updating 1.20 before we do any more internals. So we'll probably do other things like the graveyard, and I'm sure there's other things I could find as I walk around and do stuff on there. But for now, we're going to wrap things up. I'm going to pass you all along to Slice Lime, who's playing Minecraft. As you might suspect, you can, of course, follow me on social media at Joel Duggan. You can follow the Spawn Chunks and the Citadel Cafe podcasts wherever you get your favorite podcasts. They are both free. Recorded a new episode of the Citadel Cafe last night with Stephen ESC, a member of this server, and we talked about Avatar, The Way of Water, and Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. Very, very cool conversation with Steven. That will hopefully be published a little bit later this week or maybe next week. You can, of course, check out patreon.com/JoelDuggan. That is the best way to support this stream. Patreon takes very, very little off the top. And if you want to directly support your favorite creators, check out to see if they have a Patreon page. Barring that, you can always do a Streamlabs donation. That's just straight through PayPal. And again, PayPal takes very, very little as far as a fee, and most of the money goes directly to support your favorite creators. And if I happen to be one of them, I'm very flattered. I do get to do this for a living, and I really appreciate it. So if you want to come back tomorrow, we'll be back at 1 o'clock Atlantic. That's UTC minus 3 hours. For Lego, we'll be doing bags probably 3 and 4 of the Ecto 1, Ghostbusters Ecto 1 build in Lego. And it's huge. It's a really big build. It's very, very cool. So I think you will want to catch that. And then back in Minecraft on Saturday. So I'll see everybody then. Enjoy Slice Slime. Bye for now.